Hey guys, it's a quick video today. We're looking at Petr Yan and his work in the clinch in advance of UFC 259 and his title defense against Aljamain Sterling. Here's a classic Yan clinch entry to start off. Left hook, straight right, and then ducks under the opponent's lead hand to get his underhook. Jin Soo Son was tough in their fight, so he didn't have a whole heap of success in the clinch, but a great entry nonetheless. From southpaw, Yan loves this clinch entry. Slipping under the rear hand, Yan immediately reaches for the underhook on the near side, before firing off the elbow with the rear arm. Here's a similar look. Faber darts with the straight right, and Yan, from southpaw, slips to the inside angle and gets the underhook on that near side. Faber did well on the break in this instance. Here's a sort of reverse look. Yan shifts stance off of the rear hand, as he often does, and so when Faber throws the rear hand, Yan is still able to slip to the inside angle from southpaw and come up with the underhook on the right side. For the final knockout of Faber, Yan doesn't switch and instead slips to the outside angle off of his jab to avoid Faber's counter overhand. He uses his jab to get a single collar tie before starting a fight from 50-50. On the break, off of another single collar tie, you get your money shot. Here, Yan almost seems to fall over throwing his jab overhand, but it's all to get his head off the line of the straight right. He is essentially falling into the clinch, and into southpaw. Rivera does well to mitigate the follow-up. Here you get a bit of a Daniel Cormier look. Flicking out that jab just to get the single collar tie is a classic Cormier move. Here, Yan uses the single collar tie defensively as Rivera is throwing a combination. He slips deep to the closed angle and uses the single collar tie to balance him as he breaks down the space to muffle Rivera's shots. Here, Yan uses that constantly extended lead hand to just grab the single collar tie. It muffles the overhand and Yan looks for that classic Cormier uppercut. Against Douglas Silva de Andrade, the collar tie was mainly to create advantageous angles and remain defensively responsible in close. Now usually, Yan uses the lead hand for the collar tie, but sometimes he'll throw the rear hand from orthodox and fall through that way. Here he does it against John Dodson. This time, it's after a lead uppercut and a straight right. He gets double collar ties and smashes the knee up the middle. Now what about some of the shots that he lands in the clinch? Here, he shifts southpaw, gets the collar tie and bicep control, and then looks to land over the top on the break. Here, Yan falls forward off of the straight right, ends up with an underhook, retracts the arm to remove the whizzer, posts on the shoulder, and lands a spinning back fist / forearm. Here, after the 1-2 into the switch, Yan has the right underhook. He goes knee to the body on the open side, retracts the underhooking arm again, and immediately looks to land shots on the break. Here, Yan frames with the right forearm and uses the whizzer to defend the level change from Faber. He then defends Faber's underhook, slips to mitigate Faber's left hook, attains a single collar tie alongside already established wrist control, and then smashes the left elbow in. Later on, it's an elbow that floors Faber for the second time in the fight. The scenario starts the same as the previous one, with Yan defending the level change. When Faber stops trying to control Yan's right arm so he can punch, Yan fires the right elbow and gets the knockdown. Yan is a dangerous man with tools at every range, but in my opinion, it's this ability to create violent offense in the clinch that opens up his entire game. Watch for how Yan adapts his clinch work to suit this upcoming fight against Sterling this weekend. Thanks for watching guys, subscribe if you're interested in more content.